said it smoked really bad from the previous person he bought it from, which it still run when he first bought it. Smoked really, really bad. Somebody had tried to already start taking it apart. We went ahead and tested the compression on this thing, and it was well over what we look for in every motor. What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of Kart Smart TV. And I had a customer drop off a Yamaha to us yesterday, so we're gonna get into it. G14 has the OG Yamaha motor in it that is built for this year model kart. It's obviously sat in somebody's barn or in somebody's building shed or under a lean-to or something like that for a long time. Yes, you see the valve cover off. They brought it to me like this. Parts in the floor. These are some of the tools that I'm about to use to do a certain few things, because I'm going to have to get all of these cables and hoses out of my way, get the exhaust out of my way, carburetor out of my way, the plastic coverings out of my way, and get this head off, because you can see right here, stuck valve on the exhaust side. There's my intake valve, working perfectly fine. That is a stuck exhaust valve. So that's one of our problems we're gonna address. Of course, the kart has no battery in it. We're gonna get that squared away too. Somebody had tried to already start taking it apart, and then was just like, I guess, overwhelmed by it, maybe. There you guys, there you go. Got the head off. Got our covers off. This is the front side. Notice the 2 bolts right there. Then you have 2 bolts right here. You have a screw hole there. There, and there. So this is going to be on the back side, because right there's your cutout for your muffler. Obviously the coil is going to be on the front side. Get all that removed, and you can get the 6 12 millimeter bolts, sorry, 12 mil bolts out. Head will slip right off. So yeah, now we're going to take this head over to the bench, try to get these valves knocked out, get this thing cleaned up. Maybe have to do a little valve guide work, but other than that, should not be too difficult once you get it to release. Alright, as you can see, we got them out. The exhaust valve was hung right in through this area right here. Had a lot of rust built up around it. I actually ended up having to pour some oil on the top and down in here in the bottom, and actually knock it back and forth to get it to let go. Finally did let go, and what I'm gonna do is take some valve grinding compound and put it on the new valve, and put it on the actual shaft of the valve, up and down through here. So hopefully, and you can be very liberal with it too, because all you're doing is just smoothing these surfaces back out. It's going to take out any of the rust built up that's in our exhaust valve guide, and then you just clean this thing up, put it in like a parts washer or carb clean, brake clean, anything like that, to get this thing cleaned up good. I'm going to take probably a wire brush on my drill. Also clean up this entire surface here, just so I can see what our seat looks like here. But yeah, Thankfully it came out pretty easy. We'll be putting a new valve seal on this just because we're already out. We might as well do it here now. Okay guys, so as you can see, got it all cleaned up nice and pretty again. And thankfully the valve guide is okay in this. On the exhaust side, it was just basically the exhaust valve slightly bent is what happened to this thing. I rolled it across the surface and it's got just a very slight lope to it. That definitely would cause that, plus the rust that had built up along this area as well. That's never going to go back in there properly, but we was able to save the intake valve. It is nice and clean again. Alright guys, as you've seen, we had this exhaust valve problem in the head of this Yamaha G14 we had over here. And we got the exhaust valve put back in, all put back together. Got the head back on. Now we're working on getting our plastics put back on the motor so we can button this thing back up. Recap on this. The cylinder head had a slightly bent exhaust valve. So we got all that cleaned up. Got the exhaust valve put back in, new valve seals, head gasket, valve covers back on, got a new valve cover gasket, spark plugs, oil, air filter. We've even put a new carburetor on for the gentleman. And last but not least, we have put a new battery in because it didn't even have one. So, to start off with, we're looking at 12.3. We are going to cut this key switch on and find out what happens. Alright, so we have got nothing at this point. Got this thing turning over. What I found was that there is a connection issue, right here where your starter generator is. Off of the battery, the main ground wire comes into your starter generator right in here. Hard to see because I can't get the camera down in there. But then there's another wire that comes off that's right here. That has a bullet connection in it. Okay, so I was getting a bad connection inside of that, which comes to your fuse link right here. Once we done that, still wasn't getting any transfer. I was getting power on my solenoid from your battery, as you're supposed to, and then when you hit the pedal, you're supposed to be getting 12 volts to feed the small terminals, which I was. But then I didn't get anything, you know, it didn't do its click, because once you get voltage here, solenoid should click, transfer to the big cable on the opposite side, which goes to your power source to the starter generator, this cable here. So I wasn't getting all that, so I had two issues there, one being that ground connection issue and then the other being the solenoid itself. But at this point, golf cart is alive. You know, sometimes you just got to follow step by step on you know, your most common things. Once you've learned that, like this one had already been tore apart for the most part on the top end there, and we learned that the valve was bent or we would have reused it. Did a basic tune-up for the guys so that he would be able to have a good fresh tune-up to go when he gets this thing back. And obviously we ran into some of the smaller issues with the connections. And you know, if you're not getting any connection or any power, you want to start out at your battery and then just follow each plug and making sure each connection also, that making sure it's getting 12 volts to everything it's supposed to, including your key switch. So you know, we went in and tested all that, made sure that was good. Once I got the head done and got everything buttoned back up pretty close to it, ready to fire up, we went ahead and tested the compression on this thing, and it was well over what we look for in every motor. And so we decided to, let's get her going. Alright guys, there you have it. Ready to go back home to the owner, and it'll be running, and it'll be a good cart for him. As always, thank you guys so much for watching. Hope this video helped you out in some sort of way. And as always, if you got any questions about anything you see me doing here, please feel free to reach out. Also, the QR code at the bottom of the screen, that takes you directly to our website to let you get any of these parts that I use to repair these golf carts with. Also the accessories, anything that you want to add to these golf carts, you can also find that on the website. Don't forget to hit that like button, share these videos guys, comment on them if you need us. We'll be there to help you any way we can. Also, don't be scared to give us a call. Phone number's on the channel there somewhere, probably in the description. And as always, thank you for watching, and God bless you all.